I'm recording this on November 1st, 2025, Dia de Muertos, south of the border in the United States, also known as Day of the Dead. In some European countries, it's All Saints' Day, to be followed by All Souls' Day on November 2nd. But this is about cancer, not about calendars. My name is Ilona Ross, and I have stage 4 colorectal cancer, metastatic. As a cancer patient and part of the cancer community, I can mourn plenty of souls on All Souls' Day, lost before their time. So it's a good moment to talk about tests that may help cancer patients survive or at least push back their expiration date. And if you don't have cancer, there are tests that you too can and probably should take, because if you think you're going to escape this scourge, think again. Cancer is exploding, and you are probably not exempt. So what are these tests? Next-gen testing it's a technology, not a company. Although there is a company called Next-Gen Oncology whose test is worth taking if you can afford it, and it's really expensive. Then there are also exacta tests from a company called Datar. There are others that are expensive like those, but they may not be as accurate, and you'll have to do your research. And in a moment, I'll tell you exactly what these do. For those who don't have cancer, there's something called Galleri, or Galleri, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's spelled like gallery, only with an I instead of a Y at the end. It's about $1,000, but if you can do it, you probably should. Other companies have their versions of this test also. So you have to do your research and find out which one you like the most. Why should you take this test, especially if you think you're healthy now? Because they can identify cancer years, if not decades, before they'll grow enough to give you trouble or show up on a scan. And when cancer is caught early, it is often, if not usually, completely curable for the most part. So if it were me, I would have one of these tests every single year. And I sure wish they'd been around a decade or 2 decades ago, because it might have saved me a lot of trouble, and it might have saved me my life. So like I said, I have stage 4 colorectal cancer, and miracles can happen, but the likelihood is I'll be gone in a few years. So let's go back to the tests for existing cancer patients, and why should we take them? These tests are highly personalized, and the results are about you as an individual and your cancer, nobody else's. Guardant, Menarini, and Signatera, which probably are covered by insurance in the United States, they are covered by Medicare, they identify the mutations in your cancer. They don't necessarily tell you what to do and what you're going to react to, or rather what you're going to respond to, but they do tell you what mutations you have. And one of the problems is that in the absence of these personalized tests, standard of care doesn't offer a lot of choices. Hospital finances and outdated medical protocols dictate what kind of treatment you're gonna get. And there's nothing personalized about it. And that's why the cancer death rates are so abysmally high. So some next-gen tests, such as Next-Gen Oncology and Datar, they do a lot more than merely identify your mutations. They look at what therapies are going to be most effective for your specific cancer in slowing down or even killing the cancer cells, and compare it with drugs that will have no effect on your tumor. Now, these drugs may be part of standard of care, but they'll have no effect on your tumor, but they may destroy your health, and actually they may kill you. So these tests, again, Datar and Next-Gen Oncology, there are more. Again, you're going to have to do your homework. They also check which repurposed drugs you're going to respond to well, and even which supplements and herbs will be best for your cancer. I don't get a dime for telling you this. I have no financial interest in any of these companies. And I can't even afford them for myself, which is why I'm going to ask you to go see my GoFundMe, because I would like to get some of these tests. It may help me survive. And so if you want to see how these work, you can go online and look at pictures. They have time-lapsed videos where they'll put your cells, I guess it's on a petri dish, I don't know, whatever. And then they test different drugs over hours, over a matter of hours, maybe 6 hours, 8 hours, I don't know how long. And it shows you how many of your cells the drugs will actually kill. There are time-lapse videos, and it's worth looking at them. Unfortunately, these tests, which are so good, they're not covered by insurance, and they're expensive. They can, for the full complement, they can run up to $10,000. You can get abbreviated versions for a lot less, of course. But it is the Day of the Dead, and it's an opportunity to honor souls lost before their time to this disease. So I need to mention someone who would have been 52 yesterday, and he was very helpful to me, and he died of an unusual cancer called an intimal aortal sarcoma. Another guy, a good 20 years younger than me, he just died of another unusual cancer. And last week, a friend in her 50s died of colorectal cancer, although actually she died of a sepsis because her immune system was destroyed by too much in the way of chemo. And my Facebook feed is blowing up with people in their 30s and their 40s who are newly diagnosed with advanced cancer, who have little time left, or who have already died. What's happening is crazy. 1,700 people a day die of cancer in the United States. It's the leading cause of death now in many countries around the world, certainly in China, and it's overtaking heart disease in the United States as the leading cause of death. The first person I came to know well who died of colon cancer, she was only 47. This was 2 years ago. Her name was Leah, and she left 6 children, including a 9-year-old. And to honor Leah, I would like to tell you about a poem that Franz Schubert set to music. It's called Litanei auf das Fest aller Seelen, which means, a litany for the festival, invocations for the festival of All Souls Day in German. And somebody named Johann Jacobi wrote the poem in 1775, and Schubert set it to music in 1816. And, here is the English translation of the first verse. May all souls rest in peace, those whose fearful torment is past, those whose sweet dreams are over, those sated with life, those barely born, who have left this world. May all souls rest in peace. Now, there are plenty of YouTube recordings of this song, so please listen to this very, very bittersweet piece of music by Franz Schubert. Again, the name is Litanei auf das Fest aller Seelen. Bryn Terfel is the baritone who's usually, he's probably the most famous baritone who sings it, but there are a lot of recordings. Please listen. So again, my name is Ilona Ross. That's spelled I-L-O-N-A. My handle on social media is Cancer Outside the Box, and my GoFundMe is Help Ilona Ross Fight Cancer. Thanks for watching.